Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Torb Draws. I'm doing more figure drawing today. I like figure drawing. Got a more clothed figure that I think I got from Pinterest. It's like a ballet pose to start with. So that'll be nice. Nice big open pose. Let me get these friggin' dots off the screen where I tapped. Cool. I've got a little bit of music playing. It's really rocking right now. I hope it's not too loud. I was checking the audio levels and it seemed fine, but it might be the case where it makes me hard to understand. I'll have to check it when I edit the footage. Such is the downside of not streaming. I thought I would just get into tangents immediately today. We can talk about art stuff in a bit. I was looking through the memes channel of some art server, and I came across something which made me very nostalgic, indirectly. There's this friggin' video. One sec, I gotta get this angle right. There's this video where it was like a Minecraft animation. Sec. I think this is the correct angle. This looks about right. Yeah, it was some Minecraft animation about fucking Steve or whatever, Minecraft man, just doing awful things to the villagers. And it's it's this weird a genre that's in a lot of stuff where it's semi-ironic, serious stuff, like a better terminology. I couldn't I couldn't really watch all of it because for whatever reason the dude was for every line of the villager I'm gonna just make villager noises, which that was funny that was funny for the first 2 minutes, but then it's like a fucking 15-minute animation. So it got very old very quickly. But I thought I'd bring it up because it reminded me back in my childhood days, back when I was in Halo. Back on the Xbox 360. So I used to be very into machinimas and stuff like that. I think it's natural. I don't think there's any shame in it. Not saying whoever watches it is a loser or whatever. So I was into the same things. I remember watching on Newgrounds some animation where it was friggin' Mario and Luigi fighting and shit like that. So I've been there. Yeah, I was just reminded of it. I think I need to get a little radio silence for a sec, because I'm just kind of chicken scratching or whatever at the screen. So I'm gonna block in some major stuff. It's very difficult. I know I commented on it before in my previous episode. Talked about how I used to use a computer mouse. It's very difficult to make a line tablet. So it feels like I'm gonna say skateboarding, you just friggin' super commit once you get the line going. It feels very unnatural to me to ghost. Usually with the mouse what I would do is I would kind of ghost by just drawing a line. If I don't like it, I Control Z and then draw it over and over, rapid succession. That was how I did that. Maybe I should be doing the same, but the positioning's all wonky. The keyboard is on a different layer than the drawing tablet. So I've got a little setup in my closet. I can always just clean this up a little bit once get into a later phase. Now, while we're on the subject of memes, in another video of mine, I think it was Francis Become Human, I mused about what the next deepfake meme was going to be. My companions in the episode had no idea what I was talking about. I basically was like, who's going to be next after Dagoth? I didn't realize the meme culture was going to move so quick, because I actually got an answer pretty recently. There's these friggin' videos that are out now where it's the US president's playing fucking Minecraft and shit, and it's actually I would say it's as good as the Dagoth memes. I was a big fan of those. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, some proportion of you guys watching may or may not have seen it. It's friggin' Donald Trump and Joe Biden just shit talking each other. I think it was partially taken from actual shit talking, at least the first one I saw. Trying to recall it. Trump was like, "Oh no, day ruined. Please, someone." Fuck, what's the word? What's the word when you skip a cue? I'm ruining it. I'm going nuts. I'm getting mind flooded. Dodge, that's it. Someone dodge. Shit like that. It was funny in the moment. It actually sounds like them. It's very good. The most recent one I saw, which is why I got reminded of it, it's them playing Minecraft. It's also very funny. The memes have sure come a long way. I feel kind of bad for future politics stuff. So I feel the deepfake technology definitely has the possibility of fucking that shit up. Hopefully it doesn't, but you know. I have a feeling, I don't know, there's great potential for harm in the technology. There's an old science quote or whatever. It's science has the key to heaven or hell. I feel the deepfake one's it's a little bit of a bad value proposition. It's heaven is good memes, hell is no one believes any clips or footage anymore, and shit like that. Or even worse, people just put out crazy shit, the rival saying fucked up stuff, and then it spreads on Facebook and everyone believes it or some shit. I don't know. Let's get some clothes on so this doesn't look TOS. There we go. So I mean the figure itself has clothes. Alright. Time to refine a little bit. I'm not gonna go super nuts, I think. No reason to, and my arm muscles are a little bit fucked. I don't know why. In preparation for this video, I was I'll be honest, I was kind of winding myself up, stressing out, because I wasn't quite sure what to say. Classic YouTube anxiety is what it is. So I thought to myself, well, I'll just exercise, that way I'll be energetic. And now my friggin' arms are all jittery and shit. It's hard to draw a straight line. I don't know why I picked up the weights. What was I doing? Midway through the exercise, I was wait a second, this is a bad idea. But the damage is already done. I mean, I don't regret it too much, because in general, it's good to exercise. It's something I need to do more often. It's something I used to do quite often, but sort of gotten out of the habit of it. So I'm going to color in the clothes. I think this figure is looking pretty good. Kind of chicken scratchy, but you know, it's fine. For a first figure, I think that's pretty good. I think I'm gonna grab some more ref. Just leave this kind of as it is. Let's see, what else do I got? Let's see, there's dude posing, lady posing. I did just dudes last time, so maybe I should just do ladies this time. I really need to transfer my ref files over. Back in my original computer, I had about 10 bajillion refs. Like, I think unironically, like, gigabytes of stuff. Stuff I never got around to drawing, but you know what I mean. It was like a nice little procrastination habit. I just like go through Pinterest and all the sources to get like 10 million figures and other refs to draw. So I need to like zip that up and send it over at some point. Oh, by the way, I cropped the screen a little bit more, so it should be a little more zoomed in. Let me just check that I'm actually drawing on screen. Yep, I am. I think that'll be a little bit better. It's not like I'm like working with complicated layers or anything. I'm just like scribbling lines, so don't think there's any reason to actually include the UI. So that should be good. Let's see, is there anything else I want to talk about? Guess I could talk about... Well, there's a few subjects that immediately popped in my mind, right? There's art books, there's process, stuff like that. Though I do find it a little awkward to talk about. I'm not much of an art talker. It's weird because I only have art friends, but for the most part we just talk about, well, D&D. It's its own thing. It's a different creative hobby. Book that I think I absorbed the most data from. Crap, I don't remember the title. There's this freaking Steve Houston like figure drawing book. I think it's unironically a pretty good one, at least for me. I didn't really have a ton of patience for like reading a bunch of art books. You know, it's the classic situation where like I have about 10 bajillion of them just lying on my bed, waiting to be read. But the Steve Houston ones had just nice, like, simple exercises. I also just like how he breaks down the figure. So it's nice and straightforward, simple. Just like a rounded rectangle for the ribs. Oh, my arm muscles are killing me. Fuck. Oh. It ended up gelling with how I was already drawing figures, which is pretty nice. I don't think I got super duper far with that book either. I mean, what I would end up doing is I just like, whenever I got stuck with the figure that I was drawing, I would consult the book, you know? Like, ooh, how does the book say to draw this thing? Which I think might actually be the best way to go about it. Well, second best. There's probably a way to study a book without... just like with concerted effort that I just didn't end up doing. Okay, let's get the boobas. Little super perky, but that's fine. indicate the clothing. No TOS here. Oh, man, the thumb's on the left side. Alright, come on. Does that look about right? I actually think this figure's bent more back. Crap. Okay. There we go. That's the angle. Then the hips even flare back more. Just gonna do like a indeterminate blob that I can build off of. Guess I'll talk more about exercise. Actually took a little jog today. I have to say, I flip-flop on this a lot. I think winter is actually the worst season for me for exercise. Just very, very unlucky. So it's very, I get up late. By the time I want to take like my daily walk, it's usually like already deep into the night, like 5 p.m. and shit. It's very demoralizing. Not a fan. The summers aren't exactly better because basically I would wait until like sundown and it would still be 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, obviously Fahrenheit. Oh, I dropped my pen. I've got it back. But I mean, I could deal with the heat. I don't exactly want to be like roaming around at night, stuff like that. It's much spookier. So never something I wanted to do super much. There we go. This leg's a little bit borked. The muscles on the actual leg are fucking weird as hell though, because it's like in a such an extreme angle. Okay, extends even further out than I'm indicating here. A little bit more down. There we go. On this model, I actually can't see there's this leg muscle called the inductors or whatever, which goes like right here-ish. Kind of like chicken scratching. Abductors? Can't see them on this model, just interesting. It's one of the great things about figure drawing. Everyone's body is just slightly different. You can always just fuck up your game. Make it look like you don't know what you're doing. It's awesome. Cut. Get the calves here. There we go. Plant the foot on the ground. I'm gonna zoom out. How bad's the damage? Oh, it's pretty bad. I'm gonna need to redraw the legs. Man. Alright. I think I need to block them out from all the way zoomed out here. Yep, that looks about right. Put the leg here. It's too much leg fat. Well, good enough. Incorrect, not good enough. And the second leg should be higher. I think this butt is definitely where it should be. So it forms like a L shape, which is the actual thing. If you ever find yourself struggling, I would recommend like trying to squint and look at the outside shape. I don't know what to call it, the negative space. That usually helps me get the angles and stuff a little bit better. Speaking of angles, there we go. Oh yes. I think this is starting to look better, proportionally speaking. Which is good. Nice solid ground line, only waves a little bit. Bring it home with another tube. Can refine later. Awesome. Now the lake's too big. What the fuck? No! Get off the screen. Okay, I'm gonna have to put a cut there. I accidentally opened some shit. Anyways. This lake needs to be smaller. Okay, can I actually, like... Where's the selection tool? I'm gonna do what I do with the computer mouse usually. Let's resize this shit. There we go. Is that correct? I think it needs to be a little longer. Yeah, should be good enough. This tool only works on vector layers. There we go. Yeah, this looks right. Oh no, I'm on the wrong tool now. Alright, give me the brush. This works now, right? Yep. Awesome. I get the calf. There we go. Portions are a little bit warped still, but I think they're starting to hit that acceptable bounds where I don't want to mess with them anymore. So I'm going to zoom in, try to refine that a little bit. Alright, scribble. There we go. It's my patented scribble hatching. Think I should hit conversation topic 2. Oh no, what the hell? Get out of here, menus. I guess I could try to talk about art block, how I get over it, and how I'm struggling with it now. I feel like that's pretty thematically appropriate for an art video. I am having a little difficulty recently recording some stuff. I believe I said that early in the video. It's very difficult to come up with things to talk about. You're not just reacting to a video game. It's part of the reason why I like Yakuza 0 so much. You can just like read what's going on screen, react to it. A little bit more difficult. I recently ran into the problem when I was trying to record a Deep Rock Galactic video. It sort of has spiraled a little bit. I think if I can get a couple good videos out, I'll be fine. Generally speaking, what gets me out of the blocks is either time. Time's the obvious one. You know, you just procrastinate, kick the can down the road. It's not a very good habit, but, you know, eventually your mind state will change. I think when I was drawing a bunch, that's primarily how I did it. Well, that was one of two ways I got around it. I also just like drew D&D monsters all the time, and that really gave me like an excuse to draw, which I think is very good. I don't actually have the... I was kind of blessed on the art front where the having a little bit less art anxiety than I think a lot of people do. I know some friends of mine, they really don't like their work, which is very sad. Don't know really what to tell them. So I think their stuff looks good, but obviously I'm not going to name names. That'd be like a little bit, you know, kind of like spilling someone else's beans. Is this how the ass is? No, I think it's flatter. It's like this angle. Ugh. There we go. Yeah, that looks right. That looks good. I'll add some crackage. Don't know what to say to them. Usually, with my stuff, it's true to some extent with videos. I like fret, think it's the worst thing ever, and then when I actually review it, feel like it's less bad. Typically speaking, I just generally have a habit of trying to look on the bright side of a piece. I think it's the way to get over it a bit. Just like, what did I do well? It's a positive and negative habit, because it definitely, I was definitely hit with the Dunning-Kruger very early on. It's part of it, but I think, it's fine. I'm gonna add some scribbly doos so it looks like this thing's shaded a little bit. There we go. That looks like I'm making intentional marks. Oh. But that's the current challenge I'm going through. It's just not much of a challenge. Obviously, there's like worse scenarios in the world. I thought I would mind it. It's either that or I talk about D&D. I don't think anyone wants me to go too deep into that. So I think I've said my piece so many times. I'd just be bitching about random things. Actually, you know what? That sounds awesome. I'm gonna review this figure real quick. Good enough. Good enough for now. I'm gonna try to get 3 in. I think the legs are probably like 10% too big, but that's acceptable. 1/3 lady. There's this piece I tried to draw earlier today in my first drafts of this video. I think that's what I'll go for. Where the hell is it? There we go. Lady from back. Should be quite difficult. Yeah, I'll bitch about D&D. That sounds awesome. I really, as I play more of this campaign, I find myself just disliking the design philosophy of 5e. I don't know what it is, but it feels like everyone can do everything, and it just rewards monkey brain too much. It actually triggers the fuck out of me. Like, for example, all the buff spells, like super short term. Oh, I need to fix my display settings real quick. Hope this doesn't turn up in the video. Boom, there we go. Yeah, for example, Lehman's Tiny Hut. I know some version of it exists in 2nd edition, but in second edition, the DMs were just encouraged to like basically make up shit and fuck over the players, so it's less of a big deal. There's also crazier shit in that edition. But what Lehman's Tiny Hut does is it just makes you totally invincible for 8 hours. But more than that, you can actually still attack outside of the hut. It must be the worst spell in the game. I actually hate it. There's this. It just basically lets you get in over your head, and then it's like, oh, I called timeout, and there's nothing you can do because it's invincible to all forms of attack. Magic can't go through it, and the people inside can still shoot out of it. So that's just completely awful. And it only takes 10 minutes to cast. Actually, it takes 1 minute to cast if you use a spell slot, but the spell is so powerful that you don't actually need to consume like resources to cast it. It's just absolutely bad. There's an arc in my campaign before I started recording where the party completely monkey brained. They heard of these like manticores, which are like flying dickhead monsters that can shoot at you. Just very not fun creatures. They heard about these manticores camping in a ridge that no one had ever defeated. And so what the party did was, in broad daylight, they just drove their wagon at the manticores without doing any research. And then they realized shit was fucked when the manticores started dropping rocks on them from like 1,000 feet in the air. But they ended up like, there's a fight when their wagon got broke, the manticores, and then eventually the manticores retreated, got more rocks, and the party just bubbled up, and there's nothing manticores could do. It was very frustrating. I was just absolutely infuriated. Like, don't get me wrong, I mean, I was happy the campaign didn't end with like literally rock walls, everyone dies. But it's just, I think it perfectly exemplifies the friggin' trashiness of the spell. Because, like, if this was. Let me put it this way. If this was real life, they would have died. Which I know is a dumb statement, but, like. All they would have had to do is, like, ask around him about him, and then everyone would say, no, those manticores drop rocks on people. Don't approach them. And the party could have hatched a plan where they sneak up at night. The manticores can't see them coming from miles away. And it would have had its own difficulties. But instead, they just powered through it. It was actually dumb. Also, with the new books and everything, they just added like 10 bajillion spells, which just let you get away with the craziest shit. In future campaigns, I'm banning new books. I actually hate them. They're all the contents, everything they think of, it's just bad and OP. Or, I mean, there's some underpowered stuff too, but no one uses the underpowered stuff, so it's just like power creep. For example, there's the spell Zephyr's Strike, which is the spell I actually hate the most. Where it's like a first level spell, which is the second weakest type of spell. Only cantrips are weaker. But this friggin' first level spell is like vastly superior to even like second level spells. And what it does is it does everything. It lets you move quicker, it lets you ignore attacks opportunity, which are a whole thing, which I don't need to get into. Basically, it lets you move with impunity on the battlefield. It makes you faster. It makes you more accurate. It gives you more damage. And it's all a first level spell. I hate it. It's the worst. It even lets you, like, it has its own, like, secondary effect, which lasts for, like, 10 rounds, too. But, I mean, if it lasted 1 round, it would be OP. Because there's another spell, which is also OP, called Misty Step, which is a second level spell, which is supposed to be like order of magnitude tougher than first level spell, kind of. And what it does is it allows you to teleport 30 feet, and that's it. And so when you compare it to the first level spell that lets you do, it basically does everything Misty Step does in 99% of scenarios, but then on top of that is cheaper and more powerful. It drives me up the wall. I mean, I still like the game, obviously, but this is just a bugaboo I've had. I'm pretty sure I was like, it's a little bit inappropriate, but I was like bitching about spells to my players, and they're like in an awkward position because it's like the high power campaign, stuff like that. Obviously, I always tell them like, no, use the spells. This campaign, I'm not banning it. Next campaigns, it's banned. So knock yourself out, basically. Oh no, I got the legs wrong. God damn it. It should be the other leg in front. Oh, I need to draw undies. There we go. It's not TOS. Just doodle this. Let me check. Have I fucked this piece up? I'm gonna squint. I mean, a little bit proportionally. Actually, a lot proportionally. I mean, I have to tweak it a bunch. Yeah, that's my D&D tangent. Actually plan on homebrewing like a crazy content patch when this friggin' campaign eventually ends, which I don't know when that will be. It's gonna be a while. Oh no, this is derpy as hell. Alright. I think I gotta make the arm a little smaller. There we go. That looks about right. And get this box handled. Cool. Now readjust. The camera's at like a weird... I guess not the camera, but the angle's weird, because basically it's like the butt is like this. It's like going towards the camera. So the foreshortening is fucking with my brain a little bit. Yep. I will say, my favorite activity is probably bitching about D&D, but I actually enjoy the game a lot. I think it's enriching. And as I said before, it's given me the excuse to draw a lot of things. Because oftentimes I'll want like to make a monster or something, and that's like, oh, I'm gonna draw the monster for my D&D tokens, stuff like that. I heard people draw their characters too. I know I've drawn all my characters, but I very rarely get to play, which is very sucky. It's the curse of the forever DM. I say curse. I probably, in theory, I could try some sort of ultimatum where it's like, I'm getting burnt out, you motherfuckers run. But that's a later me problem. Also could just result in no D&D for a while, which would be kind of suck ass. Everyone's busy. I feel like artists, at least so far, of all the friend groups I've had, are the most, I want to say busy people, but I don't think they're actually busy. I feel like it's just like everybody just is very greedy for their time because everyone's like procrastinating on their art pieces. So feel bad about committing and stuff. Which I mean is kind of understandable. I feel pretty much the same way often at times. I definitely, once I started recording, kind of ducked all human contact for the most part. Just not for the most part. I'm being a little bit exaggeratory. But you know what I mean. But still. Okay. Crap, there's no more canvas. Okay, I'm gonna move this motherfucker up. There we go. Awesome. No. The ribcage is borked now. I think for this figure I'm going to actually do another pass where I try to clean it up. Because it is chicken scratch the maximum right now. Okay. The leg needs to be a different angle. I will say, my first character is probably my favorite experience with the game. At least from a player point of view. Maybe even just like in general. It was very awesome. Or, well, don't think the character's necessarily awesome, but it was a very awesome experience. I was just playing as like a monk dude, which, you know, obviously I'm a monk guy. Classic, stereotypical, but I understand. It's fun. It's a fun class. I like the aesthetic of it, everything. One sec. Let me just... It's definitely a very dog shit campaign, but... Oh no, I'm getting mine flooded. This is dog shit. Proportions are all fucked up. This tangent's too powerful. Anyways, I think I'm going to call it here for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you next time for more Torb draws. Goodbye!